All right. So, I mean, when you talk about Anthony Mackie, right? When you talk about the situation involving the Falcon and Winter Soldier and the shipping that was happening from parts of the internet, Anthony Mackie's, coming under fire for talking about this is really dumb. It's so stupid. They're trying to cancel Anthony Mackie for literally just saying your headcanon is not real canon and you need to stop. Get off Tumblr and get a real life. That's my inference, my interpretation. But the thing is, just because you want someone to hook up and to like be a couple is not always going to happen. And it's very dumb to put that pressure onto the creatives by being mad at them for your headcanon not being a reality. And this is literally one of the biggest problems with like the online youth of the day. It boils down to identity politics, which it absolutely does. And I don't care what you identify as. This has nothing to do with your identification or your sexual identity or what you prefer. This is all about whether or not your headcanon can live in the real world. And when it doesn't work out the way you want it to, can you act like people and not get mad at an actor for saying, stop with the BS? Like, stop with the BS. So this is what we find out today. So Anthony Mackie commented about a fan favorite Marvel ship today, and fans are not reacting well. While talking with Variety, the Falcon and Winter Soldier star addressed the online discussion that he and Sebastian Stan's character Bucky / the Winter Soldier are more than just friends. Mackie, who plays Sam Wilson, the new Captain America of the MCU, insisted they weren't a couple or romantically interested in each other in any way. Yeah. I mean, Bucky was flirting with Sarah, his sister, to mess with him. And he went on a date with that woman because he was looking for a connection with, I don't know, someone from the opposite sex, which is clearly where Bucky Barnes wants to dip his candle. Anyway, it says here, so many things are twisted and convoluted, Mackie said. There's so many things that people latch onto with their own devices to make themselves relevant and rational. Now, I love this here. To make themselves relevant and rational. And he's calling out Twitter. He's calling out Tumblr. He's calling out these fandoms that are so just like crazy at times when it comes to this kind of stuff. And this is like stuff you would get coming off of people who watch like fucking Steven Universe and Cartoon Network shit. This is essentially like the kind of stuff that they're into. And they're so mad that their headcanon is not happening. Look, I can understand if you want certain plot points to happen and you like that are based upon setups that never go anywhere, but they were literally inventing this particular situation. They were literally they were inventing their own headcanon here. Now, Mackie referenced his previous roles that faced similar responses, such as an episode of Black Mirror, in which he and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II starred as best friends who play an immersive virtual reality game. In the game, they simulate being a man and a woman in a sexual relationship, but they aren't a couple. Saying here, the idea of two guys being friends and loving each other in 2021 is a problem because of the exploitation of homosexuality. Which I'm like, whoa, that was like I'm like, damn, dude, you dropped that. Like, I'm surprised he said that. Because this is Pride Month, and this is a month where it's like, people are really kind of edgy on that. So I'm like, wow, holy crap. He says here, it used to be that guys can be friends. We can hang out. It was cool. You would always meet your friends at the bar, You can't do that anymore because of something as pure and beautiful as homosexuality has been exploited by people who are trying to rationalize themselves. And that is like so true. Now, granted, I do agree, I do agree with Dark Beast here saying that the Variety article was a mess. Fans will always ship characters. That's true. And that again, I have no problem if you have your own headcanon, but don't be mad when your demand for this to happen doesn't happen. Now, it says here, especially if they see suggestions of relations. I think Variety really tried to blow this up into a story. But the thing is, though, if they see what you kind of destroyed your own argument there, especially if they see suggestions. So what you're saying is they're looking for it. They're actively looking. They're looking for things that are going to fit into that confirmation bias. That's what it boils down to. Just because there's a scene where like Bucky falls in Sam's lap for some reason, it's not oh my God, he wants to stick it in. It's none of that kind of stuff here, but they keep running this stuff. It's like, oh yeah, what is this? Dark Side of Light here says one of the longest running headcanon ships was Captain Kirk and Spock. Yeah, never mind. Kirk literally like slept his way through the galaxy. That's, it's just so dumb. It's so stupid. The people there, again, this is like the Tumblr communities that are like, in my head, this is what's really happening. And look, Tumblr is a bad place for that. Okay. Tumblr is an echo chamber for that kind of thing. And now it's worked its way into Twitter. And I think really since like Tumblr started outlawing, like the Rule 34 nudity and sex type content, and also YouTube cut down on that kind of stuff themselves. But I mean, back in the day, I read a shipping story. I made fun of it a long time ago, where Thor and Loki were considered like a married couple with certain fans. I am not kidding you. That was a big thing on Tumblr, where all of these people, all of these shippers were like Thor and Loki were totally in love with each other. They were totally a couple, and that was the reality. And it was like making fun of that because it was stupid. I'm sorry, it's stupid. But making fun of that was like, whoa, you can't do that, man. It's just, it's dumb. Anyway, now the Star further rationalizes his stance by arguing for the case of for a sensitive masculine figure. And that his Falcon and Winter Soldier character embodied that sentiment because he was faced with plenty of action, but also had scenes with therapy, tender conversations, and more. And that is also very true. In the media landscape, we talk a lot about how the portrayal of women, like Scarlett Johansson came out and she said that in Iron Man 2, Black Widow was sexualized, which she was. But for the purpose of the story, the context was that she was sent in to attract the attention of Tony Stark. So she was playing to that Playboy mentality at the time, and they've drastically reduced the sexuality of it. Well, with the exception of some of the butt shots in Avengers, but they reduced the sexuality of it as time went on because she was seen as a real character. So I get that, right? But what happened to but we live in a world also where men can't cry. We live in a world where men can't be sensitive in media. It's deemed as wrong. If you look at a lot of right-wing pundits, right? What do they say? What do people in the fandom menace say? What are they going to look at this and say? Sensitive masculine figure. What are they going to call him? They're going to call him a fucking soy boy. They're going to call him a fucking soy boy for showing emotions. So they're also part of the problem. They're part of the people that regurgitate those stereotypes that very much keep men from being able to have those relations with other men. And it's not a sexual thing, but there's a bonding. There is a bonding that happens between men, and it happens, all the time. And that bonding is like a really important thing in a lot of people's lives. And to see that type of relationship and that relationship with Sam and Bucky, I believe very much pulled into that one. I think very much tied into it. And Sam and Bucky going and having those conversations, those relationships where it's not like they're going to hook up, but they're just both missing their best friend. And they found each other in their grief, in their sadness, and they found a way to work together and overcome odds. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Not a damn thing. And yet a lot of people on Tumblr are going to be upset because, oh no, they didn't get together in the end. They didn't Brokeback Mountain in a tent in fucking Montana. It's just so dumb. And yeah, it's like Alvy says here, there's nothing wrong with bromance. Dude, 100% there's nothing wrong with bromance. I know. Nothing wrong with it. It's so stupid. But the whole thing here, Dark Beast, is here's the thing. What he's talking about here is he's moving beyond the having fun. All right. Having fun is a goalpost mover with this particular conversation, because I've been around long enough to see this shit blow up into ways that will embody massive harassment campaigns that will, if you think gamers get a little bit iffy, and they do, oh my God, they do. The amount of shit that comes out of the Tumblr arenas, the Tumblrites out there, dude, flat out is as bad. In some cases, absolutely worse. Because these are people who can't stand that two characters in their head didn't get together. I'm sorry. Look, you may not like the fact that Bran became the king and won the Game of Thrones 2 years ago. But guess what? We all got to move on with our lives. I wasn't the biggest fan of that myself. I enjoyed the final season, but you know what? I accepted it as a reality and I moved on with my day. I pimped on down the road. But we're not talking about having fun. We're talking about people that demand it and then feel personally insulted when they don't get it. That is what he's talking about here, dude. That is what Mackie's talking about. So anyway, let me finish up the article. Now, fans are quick to react with one person here. T'Challa Stan says, Anthony Mackie should have just said the ship was cute and called it a day. I understand where he's coming from. He just needed to word it better. No, he didn't. He was fine. You just want him to validate your opinion. Abbott here says, I get the point Anthony Mackie was trying to make, but he definitely should have worded it better. It's totally not wrong for gay people to wish to see representation on the big screen. No, it's not wrong to see that. But also when the characters aren't gay, don't force them to be gay in your headcanon and then get mad when they're not gay. Ask for actual representation, which should be there. Representation matters. But when you try to put a square peg in a round hole, no one wins because it just comes across as forced. It doesn't work that way. Anyway, and then Snyderverse here, this guy is big in the Snyderverse. He says, Anthony Mackie waited until Pride Month to talk about how annoying it was for gay people with virtually no representation in the MCU to headcanon their faves as gay. It was, again, that's looking for some shit right there. And he finishes up here by saying, he's talking about this specific incident and what he's seen, or this specific situation. Sam and Steve had a relationship where they admired, appreciated, and loved each other. Sam and Bucky had a relationship where they learned how to accept, appreciate, and love each other. You'd call it a bromance. It's literally just two guys who have each other's backs. And guess what? They're not trying to come on it. You know what? Like, I get made fun of for like my best friend. You know what? Like, because we've gone and like, oh, we've checked out like meteor showers and shit because it's cool. Right. But it was like, there's a little bit of joking there. Like, oh, you guys just go off and do your own, but it's like, we have a solid friendship, a solid bromance that's been going on now for almost 20 years. Love that guy. Fucking love that guy. Right. I have no desire to like be with him romantically, but like I could talk to him about literally anything and I'm the most comfortable around him ever, but I have no desire to at all be in a physical relationship with him. So it's like, I know that I'm straight. I know he's straight. But to sit there and like, to treat bromance and men bonding, which is again, something that is seen as a negative in so many ways. It's seen as a negative in so many ways in our society. Like, my God, I don't think many of you guys were around like during the height of the men's rights movement. And it's not to say that I agree with like everything. I know a lot of those people. I've listened to them talk. I've listened to them break down their thoughts and their opinions. But if you've literally got people that are mad at Anthony Mackie for saying like, just let a bromance be a bromance, and you're trying to find something to get mad about, that says more about you and your inability to understand reality as it is presented to you than it does about literally anything else. And Shrek as Daddy here says, this reminds me of the Cap Bucky shippers from CW. Oh, dude, you have no idea. Oh God, I remember that thing. Yeah, I know, right? Like Bucky didn't get with Sam, or he didn't get with Captain America. Now Bucky's what? He's not going to get with Sam? Like, it's just this, they want it so desperately that it ends up delineating and diminishing any potential message that they might have, or any potential foothold that they might have, any potential power that they might have. If you want representation, which by all means, yes, representation. I love the fact that Sam Wilson is now Captain America. I think it's awesome that we have a black Captain America. I can't wait to see what happens with that. But to try to force creatives to adhere to your headcanon is one of the most selfish, childish, and idiotic things that we deal with in fandoms. And it's frustrating, and it needs to be called the fuck out constantly. Absolutely constantly. Oh yeah, Finn and Poe. That's another one. People were desperate for Finn and Poe to hook up. They were absolutely livid when it didn't happen. They were so upset that Finn and Poe didn't do anything. Again, in what world are you owed this particular shipping? In what world are you owed this particular thing to happen? You're not. If you want it, you go out and you make something and you create it and you put your own thoughts and your own personalities and your own characters in a world of your own choosing, of your own making, of your own creation. And that is what you do. And that is how people will see it. And then you are at that point promoting representation, and you are bringing it to the masses in a way that they might actually really enjoy. This is one of the key reasons why I'm not a fan fiction person. I don't like fan fiction because it is, in my mind, I would say it's lazy in my mind. It's very lazy. If this is something that you want, if you want a non-super soldier, African-American man who's a beefcake, because Anthony Mackie is a very attractive man. I'm comfortable with my sexuality to say that. To hook up with a Luke Skywalker looking motherfucker who's also an attractive man, then write your own story. Write your own story. Don't rely on other people to act out your fantasy. Do it yourself or shut the fuck up. That's where I'm at with this sort of stuff. Okay. And then also fourth here says, the slight offense of shipping men is the people who do it already think so little of men. For when we do get along, it must be because we're gay. I mean, is there like a Bechdel test for that shit? And then I Green, You Green says, what about asexual people? They're the least represented group in Hollywood. That is true. That is true. I mean, yeah, that's why fanfics exist. It is why fanfics exist. I'm just not a fan of fanfics. Dark Beast here says, I think fans are frustrated because they tease with actual gay representation and got nothing. They get crap like LeFou or that guy from Cruella. They tease people and you get nothing. But that is corporate culture trying to adhere to very authoritarian and bigoted governments. If you have an issue with gay representation and things like LeFou, then take it up with the fucking Russians who banned the movie for like a 2-second shot. Take it up with the fact that in Saudi Arabia, because of hardcore Islam, if you are gay, they will literally throw you off a fucking rooftop. If you have an issue with this, then take it up with the actual fucking organizations, religions, countries, governments that proliferate the type of anti-gay, homophobic shit that happens outside of this country. If you are so butthurt over it, then there is your fucking target, dude. There is your target. You get mad at companies for acting like companies who want money, but you say nothing about the actual inhuman actions and the fucking cruelty. Did you know that in Chechnya, which is a Muslim-led part of the fucking Russian Federation, all right? They're very loyal to Putin, which is why they're able to exist the way that they are. A couple years ago, a report came out that there are fucking gay concentration camps in Chechnya. Gay concentration camps. If you are gay in that country, they will take you from your home and they will throw you in prison. Where in the fuck is your outrage over that? Where in the fuck is the outrage over that? Where is it? Because this is not unknown. This is not tucked away. This is out there. This is current. This is happening all the time. But no, get mad at Disney because they do something stupid. These are the realities and the horrors of the world we fucking live in. And so if you have a true issue with that, if you have a real issue and it's bothering, then there is your fucking target. There's your fucking enemy. Not a fucking movie company. Oh my God, fucking Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes didn't get together. I didn't get to watch them just completely eviscerate each other's anuses. No, but they're fucking throwing people off the rooftops in Saudi Arabia for being gay. There was a guy just recently who was gay, who was I think he was in Iran. He was looking to get the fuck out of the country, right? He was on his way to get the fuck out of the country. This happened literally like weeks ago. It was one of the most disturbing cases I'd ever fucking heard of. This guy was trying to get the hell out of the country. His stepbrother found a message, found out that the guy was gay because being gay is considered a sin in the country and executing homosexuals is considered honor killing. The stepbrother lured the dude out of town or to a car, where they drove out of town and the stepbrother and a couple of his friends murdered and beheaded the guy for being gay. This is recent. And then they called his mother and told her where to come and find the fucking body. That happened. But no, fucking LeFou is the problem. Disney's handling of LeFou is the problem. No. No, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. No. I'm sorry, dude. I get pissed off at that stuff, man. I get really pissed off. I'm not mad at Hank. I like Hank. He's here all the time. I've known him for a while. Cool guy. I'm not mad at him. This is something that has been literally building up on this topic for like years. Because all the time is all these people whine on social media all the time. Oh my God, we don't get this. We don't get that. We don't do this. We don't do that. And what are they listening to? All of this shit. All of this shit. Right? It's Pride Month. Why the fuck aren't people fucking protesting the Saudi Arabian fucking embassies or the Iranian embassies or in countries where it is illegal to be homosexual? Why aren't they protesting them? No, but all these corporations, they change their fucking banner for a month and then July 1st rolls around and it's all back to fucking normal. It is a bullshit thing. It is, as Anthony Mackie said, the exploitation of homosexuality. Something that is as pure and beautiful as homosexuality, which I do believe that. And they just exploit it for their own corporate gain or their own social media fucking points. But when actual atrocities happen, when there are confirmed atrocities that happen, when in certain African countries, if they find a lesbian, men will gang rape her in hopes of trying to turn her straight, because that is how they handle it in those countries. We literally in this country say fucking nothing, but demand so much via social media. It's pathetic on so many levels. I have no respect for like a lot of people because I see all of them on social media. They're all out there. They're just proclamating. They're playing along with it all. They want the retweets and the likes and all that shit. But then at the fucking end of it, nothing. They don't do anything. Now I'm just fucking pissed.